Your mind is the only reality because it is the only thing that is real. This is a holographic universe that is reflected from the mind. So anything that's going on for you internally is reflected for you to be able to experience in all the people, places, situations, circumstances that you encounter in your life. So whatever goes on in your imagination is equal to your reality. The thoughts that you think about and therefore the feelings that you feel are creating your whole reality. Nothing is outside of you and everything is internal. There is nothing going on outside of yourself. You can see it and you can perceive it as such, but you are the one that's creating that experience from within. So if you don't like what's going on in your reality, then you have to understand that it's not about changing, controlling, manipulating, or doing anything outside of yourself to change what's going on. And it's all about changing the way that you are thinking, because your perception creates your whole reality, which means that the way that you are thinking about yourself and therefore your life is the way that it is because of the way that you are thinking about you and your life. So, if you understand that you are the creator of your own reality, then you will also understand that everything is made up of your own energy. Everything is awareness, consciousness, energy, all meaning the same thing, but just have a different way of saying it. This means that all the people in your life, the way that you are perceiving them, is coming from your own energy. So everywhere you go, all the people that you encounter, they are all just reflections of you. You are the one that's feeling whatever you are feeling from those experiences because you have created yourself to perceive the way that you are perceiving. So no one is actually seeing anybody for who they are, and we see people for who we are because we cannot see outside the level of awareness that we are operating at. It's like people don't know what they don't know. So instead of saying, oh, yeah, that could be the case, but I don't think it is, the majority of people will just shut it down and straight away say that's definitely not true because they don't believe it to be true. Because whatever you believe to be true in your own reality is the way that your reality is. And anything that threatens the ego means that that person gets into a heightened state of fight and flight, fear. Your ego wants it to believe that it is you, because without the ego, that questions the person's existence. It really wants you to believe that you are the ego, because that is the point of the ego. The ego's job is to keep you safe. So it does do a good job. However, you're not supposed to be living in a heightened state of fight and flight and fear because it isn't necessary in the now. So you're supposed to use your ego to work for you rather than working against you. The majority of people are using their ego to work against them because they are believing everything that their ego is telling them. And again, what happens with the ego is it does not want you to do anything outside of its comfort zone. It does not want you to think differently to how you have always thought. It doesn't want you to do anything differently because that threatens your existence as it threatens the ego. But the whole point of your higher self is to know that this is where the magic and the goodness happens in your life is when you go against your ego, unless your ego is working for you, which you can train your brain so your ego can work for you. But it's about understanding that you are not your ego. You are actually a soul having a human experience. And that means that you have a higher self. Your higher self knows that you are safe and guided in every moment. So it can override the ego. But the ego's job, like I have mentioned, is to make you believe that that is you. So if you don't understand that you are a soul having a human experience and you have a higher self, then you're automatically going to listen to the ego because you believe that it is you. But again, the ego's only job is to make you stay the way that you've always been. So then you're not going out your comfort zone, trying something new. But your higher self knows that any step you take, anything that you're going to do, you're obviously fine because you're guided and you're supported. So it's literally, this life is all about you, and it's a you versus you, because it's a battle between your ego and your higher self, until you understand that you can use both of them to work for you and live a beautiful life, because now you're using your ego to create the reality that you want to create, knowing that your higher self is leading it and your ego is just boosting that. But until you get to that point, it's always going to feel like a battle between your higher self and your ego. Again, what ego loves as well is, the instant pleasures in life and doing habits that you've always done. It likes what it knows. So your higher self is about pushing yourself to do different things because you can do it, and it's about understanding that you can do it and getting pleasure from things that isn't instantaneous, but it is a lifelong. So these could be little things that you implement in your life, and after a time it becomes part of your daily routine. It's a new habit, but it's got so many benefits for you in that new habit. You may not enjoy doing it in the time that you're doing it, but afterwards the rewards are so high, and the way that you feel means that that thing is worth it. But if you're operating from ego, you're going to think, oh, well, actually, I don't feel like doing that. It doesn't feel good in the moment. I'll do something else, or I'll skip that step. So it's really understanding that when you live through your higher self, you are going to be guaranteed joy and fulfillment and bliss, because your higher self does know the answers, and your higher self knows what your soul craves and what is best for you and what is going to make you truly happy. Because again, it's all about the way that you feel within, and you only ever want something because of the way that you believe that thing is going to make you feel. It's all about the feelings within. So when you're living through your higher self and you're doing these daily habits and you're doing things that make you feel good, then your higher self knows that this is actually the stuff that's going to make you feel really good, not just the instantaneous pleasure out of doing things that are going to satisfy your ego. Your higher self knows things that's going to satisfy your soul, and that is why you are here, to fulfill your soul's mission and to realize that there's nothing more important than that you feel good. And any little thing for you to feel good in the now is going to make your whole life experience completely different to how it's always been if you've just been operating from ego.